Hello students, today we shall begin with second chapter of 8th standard science microorganisms. So what is microorganisms? Micro means small and organisms means small creature. So microorganisms are small living creature. As you can see here, the microorganisms, they are commonly called as friend and foe. Foe is nothing but enemy. Most microorganisms are beneficial. For example, some microorganisms in our large intestine synthesize protein and some are harmful. So in this chapter, we will study about friendly microorganisms and harmful microorganisms. Friendly microorganisms means some microorganisms are used for various purposes like preparation of curd, bread, etc. Medicinal and agricultural use, this will study in detail in next section. Next, the microorganisms or microbes are so small in size that they cannot be seen with the unaided eyes. Here unaided is nothing but naked eyes. Some of these, such as the fungus that grows on bread, can be seen with a magnifying glass. Others cannot be seen without the help of microscope. That is why these are called microorganisms or microbes. Microorganisms are classified into four major groups. These groups are bacteria, fungi, protozoa and some algae. So, microscope is such an instrument, without that we can't see the microorganisms. So, we'll start with first activity. Collect some moist soil from the field in a beaker and add water to it. After soil particles have settled, observe a drop of water from the beaker under a microscope. What do you see? So here the observation we can see the moist soil will have a number of bacteria and microorganisms. Next, second activity. Take a few drops of water from a pond, spread on a glass slide and observe through a microscope. Do you find tiny organisms moving around? Yes, we can observe large number of minute organisms moving or floating in the water. By all these activities, we can observe small things through microscope are called as microorganisms. Some of the pictorial examples are given in the next section. First one is types of bacteria, spiral bacteria and rod-shaped bacteria. Here you can see the spiral-shaped bacteria and here rod-shaped bacteria. This we can observe through microscope. Next, types of algae, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra. Chlamydomonas is the single-celled green algae. It swims with two flagella. And Spirogyra is a filamentous green algae. It is commonly found in fresh water. Next, types of protozoa, amoeba and paramecium. Amoeba is one of the irregular shaped microorganism. Here the locomotory part is pseudopodia. Next, paramecium is one of the protozoan. Here the locomotory part is cilia. Next, types of fungi. First one, bread mold. Next, penicillium and aspergillus. Bread mold, it is one of the most common fungi. The scientific name is Rhizopus stolonifer. Penicillium is the major important fungi in natural environment in food spoilage. Aspergillus. This fungus is often found growing on dead leaves, stored grains. Next, types of virus, adenovirus and bacteriophage. Adenovirus is a common virus that infects the lining of eyes, airways, lungs, intestine and urinary tract. And bacteriophage is a virus which parasitizes a bacterium by infecting it and reproducing inside it. Next we'll see where do microorganisms live. Microorganisms may be single-celled like bacteria, some algae and protozoa or multicellular such as algae and fungi. Here we can see bacteria and some algae and protozoa are single cell microorganisms, and some algae and fungi we can see the multicellular organism. They can survive under all types of environment ranging from ice cold climate to hot spring and desert to marshy land. Here marshy land is nothing but wet land. They are also found inside the bodies of animals including humans. Some microorganisms grow on other microorganisms while others exist freely. Microorganisms like amoeba can live alone, while fungi and bacteria may live in colonies. Here, colonies is nothing but in groups. Here, the number of cells in the microorganisms may varies from single cell to multiple cell. In single cell, bacteria and some of the algae and protozoa will come, and algae and fungi will comes under the multicellular organism. Here, the single cell organism and multicellular organisms are differ. These microorganisms can survive under all types of climatic conditions. They are adapted to all types of climatic conditions like ice cold, hot spring and wet land. Here wetland is nothing but marshy land. These microorganisms can found in the human bodies, that some are harmful and some are useful. The E. coli bacteria, which is present in human large intestine, which synthesize B complex vitamin in our large intestine. Harmful microorganisms may cause the different diseases. Next we'll see friendly microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for various purposes. They are used in the preparation of curd, bread and cake. They are also used in cleaning up of the environment. For example, the organic waste, vegetable peels, remains of animals, feces, etc. are broken down into harmless and usable substances by bacteria. Recall that bacteria are also used in the preparation of medicines. How this bacteria used in the preparation of medicines? Like some bacteria are used to produce antibiotics, vaccines and medically useful enzymes. Most antibiotics are made by bacteria that live in soil, that you will study in higher classes. These microorganisms are also used in agriculture. They are used to increase soil fertility by fixing nitrogen. In agriculture, increase soil fertility by fixing nitrogen. Nitrogen fixation bacteria like rhizobium is used for soil fertility. Here you can see for various purposes these microorganisms are used. For preparation of curd, the lactobacillus bacteria is used, and for bread and cake preparation we can use the fungi, that is yeast. Soil fertility is nothing but ability of soil to provide crops with essential plant nutrients like rhizobium bacteria in the root nodules of leguminous plants convert free nitrogen to ammonia. Next, making of curd. Curd contains several microorganisms. Of these, the bacterium Lactobacillus promotes the formation of curd. It multiplies in milk and converts it into curd. Bacteria are also involved in the making of cheese, pickles, and many other food items. An important ingredient of rava, idlis, and bhaturas is curd. Lactobacillus is one of the bacteria which multiplies and converts milk into curd. Next, making of bread. Here, yeast is one of the microorganism which is used for the preparation of bread. Yeast is one of the fungus. Yeast reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. Bubbles of gas fill the dough and increase its volume. Whatever the dough we have prepared for the preparation of bread, that dough will increase the volume, means the space will be increases. This is the basis of the use of yeast in the baking industry for making breads, pastries and cakes. Next, third activity, take half kg flour, add some sugar and mix with warm water. Add a small amount of yeast powder and knead to make a soft dough. What do you observe after 2 hours? Did you find the dough rising? Here we can see raised dough. Here the observation we can see for the third activity, that yeast, the fungus, it reproduces rapidly and produce carbon dioxide gas during respiration. Those bubbles of the gas fill the dough and it increases the space or the volume of the dough. This is the basis of the use of yeast in the baking industries for making pastries, bread and cakes. Next, commercial use of microorganisms. Commercial use means intended to make money. Microorganisms are used for the large scale production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid. Here large scale is nothing but in industries and factories the production of alcohol, wine, acetic acid like vinegar. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice and crushed fruit juices. The process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. Here the yeast is nothing but here fungus. That fungus is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice and the crushed fruit juices. And this process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. Next, fourth activity, take a 500 ml beaker filled up to 3/4 with water. Dissolve 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. Add half a spoon of yeast powder to the sugar solution. Keep it covered in a warm place for 4 to 5 hours. Now, smell the solution. Could you get a smell? Yes, you can get smell like alcohol. This is because of fermentation. By this fourth activity, we can get the smell of alcohol as sugar has been converted into alcohol by yeast. This process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. Here fermentation is nothing but the conversion of sugar into alcohol. The chemical breakdown of substance by bacteria, yeast or other microorganism. It is the metabolic process in which an organism converts a carbohydrate such as starch or sugar into an alcohol. The fermentation is nothing but it is a conversion of sugar into alcohol, that is known as fermentation with the help of microorganisms.